You got to see this for yourself to believe it. This is what Jews have made. This is their video, which, by the way, they also have removed from their YouTube, already disappeared. So I want to make sure that I do record this very video, that radical Jews, and Jews are as radical as nobody on earth. I can tell you that they are 1,000 times more radical than the most radical Muslims are. I'll give you also a little comment in the end of this video, but let's see the video first. Today is February the 22nd of 2018.
I'm gonna go to jail for what I'm about to do right now.
I'm gonna be locked up.
I wonder if they got beer in the Polish jail.
I'm gonna miss them when I'm gone.
No Polish jail can scare me today.
Ready? I'm gonna do it now.
3, 2, 1.
Let's go.
Polish Holocaust.
Polish Holocaust.
Polish Holocaust.
Polish Holocaust.
Polish Holocaust.
Polish Holocaust.
After 3.5 million Jews were murdered in Poland,
including hundreds of thousands of kids,
The Polish have approved a new law.
I will go to jail.
To jail.
so listen, Polish people. What happened during the Holocaust was inevitable. Repeal this disgraceful law now.
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 now,
Now.
Jews will never again be silenced.
The USA should suspend all ties with Poland.
Before it's too late.
and we will never agree to deny the Holocaust.
In the name of 6 million Jews, sign our petition. The United States must suspend relations with Poland now.
Sign the petition now. I am also in favor of suspension of relations with Poland until the Polish denial law is repealed. Go to www.neverdeny.org. American Jews, always with Israel.
Okay, I will explain to you exactly what is happening. What is happening is that the young Jewish youth is actually more radical than the older generations that started this process of Israel. And this radicalism, with the aid of people, I should say politicians, corrupt politicians, like, let's say, I'm from Slovenia, right? And you know about my case. I have had Mossad here literally pointing revolvers in me, in my head, and they have simulated, like, I don't know how many incidents, abduction incidents that would take place in case I would dare to point at Israel or talk against Israel, or, this isn't talking about Israel. This is just being objective about things, right? Just to report things as the things are, as they have anticipated my future writing, because these elites wanted to push me into this game, and so they have anticipated my presence on the internet, and so what they wanted is, I'm not going to say buy, but for me to see it the way they want, literally through revolvers pointed in my head. Abductions to place from Slovenia with the US government and with the Russian Vladimir Putanovich, literally to the Israel where torture was conducted on me, more death threats and so on. Now you're talking about European Union citizen here. So no, it is not the case that this would have happened. I should say that Israel could say, well, we were not the only one who have done this, who have participated in this. Okay, it was also Slovenian government that was involved in it, an American government, of which to citizenship you are, citizen you are, or citizenship you have. Now that's true, that is true. However, that does not excuse the Israeli radicalism to which we witness. Netanyahu have gone as far as implanting his niece in my life. This niece was present in MK Ultras, and in 2017 she met me in Budapest, and as I would not immediately recognize her, because when you're drugged up, things look a little different than, you know, later on when you encounter them in life. Many years passed by. Another thing is that they clear your memory with electroshocks after each session of MK Ultra. Okay, and so just as he have implanted another niece here in the city of the Novo Mesto in Slovenia, where I am from, this is a real story, folks. Putin is command, and what he told me, she will marry an individual from your city. So in case we need to get you to the Israel, we're going to have a Mossad here in Novo Mesto. We're going to make a base here in Novo Mesto. So if you're going to talk something against Israel or anything like this, you're just going to disappear to Israel. So just, you know, you're going to disappear to Israel, or we're just going to shoot you. We're just going to kill you. I was at her place, at that niece's place. She met me the other day when I went to the store, to the local store. And so it's not about, look, it's not about love here. It's not the issue about the love. This is the issue. This is how we see issues as, okay? We see issues as human-related issues, okay? You know, need for certain affection, certain things that are a necessary part of our lives. Jews see these things differently. You can see that Kushner implanted himself in a Trump family. You can see a Jew marry Chelsea Clinton. You can see a Jew married, I don't know, daughter of Bush, and so on. And so this isn't about, look, about the stuff the way we see it. This is about the stuff that Jews use to, I'm not going to say to implant themselves in our lives, but to literally control us. And to get into our countries through the stuff like this, literally through the marriages and so on. And, you know, you would say, well, but this is nothing wrong through the marriages. No, it is not. This is actually something I would not object at all. If I would meet this Alexandra under different kind of circumstances, I would be more than happy to marry her. But because of what I have learned, and of course under other circumstances, I never would marry her. She would marry somebody else because she would have no interest in me. You understand that? And so, but because of their necessities, because of their necessities to penetrate in our societies and get us literally, wow, what can I say about the video? I mean, the only thing I can say is that Jews alone have participated in a Wehrmacht, in a German army. They have collaborated with the Hitler like on a highest scale possible. You have super high-ranking Jewish officers in the German army engaging in assault on Poland, on Russia, basically killing Polish people, Russian people, mass slaughtering them, working inside of the concentration camps. We're killing. It was not only Jewish people that were interns in the concentration camps. Most of the people in the concentration camps also were Slavs, Slavic people. They murdered 40 million Slavic people. Don't forget this, okay? It's just, you got the wrong impression about everything because the only thing you hear about when it comes to World War II is a Holocaust. It's also because Germans, Americans, Anglo-Saxons, they believe that they're going to replace us Slavs with the word Holocaust. But it's not like this. This is not what the case is. There were a lot of people, I'm going to tell you from Slovenia also, that were inside of those concentration camps. There were interns inside of those concentration camps. I have a family, friends, that were inside of the concentration camps. My father, at age 8, have stolen fishing poles. German fishing poles from German officers. Germans would go and they would throw the bombs in the river, and they would mass kill fish here. Just with the bombs, they would go, they would kill fish, and then they would eat the fish. Just like this, they would come, they would not only kill people, but they would kill anything. They were like animals, like much worse than barbarians, animals. They would do whatever they were pleased to do, you understand? And so my father went ahead, and he saw those fishing poles. Nobody liked them. Nobody liked these Germans here. And so he saw those fishing poles, and they were way more sophisticated than what the people had, and he took those fishing poles and put them in a bush. And so the Germans returned, those officers returned, they couldn't find those fishing poles, but they got him. Somebody saw my father doing this, and he went to the German officers and he reported what happened. Well, the next thing you see, my whole family here from Novo Mesto was listed to go to concentration camp, and basically have avoided one. You know how? Why? Because the brother of my grandfather actually was collaborated with the Germans, and so he got them off that list from the concentration camp. Otherwise, I wouldn't be even talking to you here right now. You understand that? So when you talk about this stuff, about this, about this Holocaust, about these things, you don't need about the Polish law and so on. You need to understand that the Jews, the German Jews, have mass slaughtered Poles, mass slaughtered Russians, and even mass slaughtered their own people. You know where? Even inside of the concentration camps they worked. Like this. Do you know who liberated Jews? I'm going to tell you who liberated Jews. Polish partisans, Yugoslav partisans, and Russian army, Red Army, liberated Jews. You understand that? Jews did not save a single Slavic life in the World War II, but they murdered a lot of them. And so for the Jews to say, that it was Poles that have engaged in a Holocaust against Jews, this is quite a disgusting claim. I'm not going to say that there were not Poles that collaborated with, with the Germans. I'm sure there were some that collaborated with the Germans, not only against Jews, but against their own Polish people. There was stuff like this going on all over the Europe. There's absolutely no doubt about it. Okay, but there was no instance in a Polish history during the World War II that would suggest that the Poles would go and would, literally, engage in a Holocaust. They would, go and search for Jews and, get them inside of the concentration camps and just exterminate them because they were Jews. Poles saved a lot of Jews. And another fact is, just because Germans have occupied Poland and have brought Jews from the Germany with them along to the Poland where they have murdered, it's what the Jews claim, 3.5 million of them, that does not mean that it was Poles that murdered Jews. You understand that? So that the law, that Polish law that suggests that it's prohibited, it's actually criminal for anybody to say that Poles, engaged in a Holocaust against Jews, is totally justified. I'm not really shocked, because the stuff that I have talked about, how far Netanyahu have gone, they are extremely radical. I'm not shocked about it all. I mean, it does not surprise me. The video does not surprise me at all, because I know how radical Israelis are. How radical this is. This is more radical than Muslim. Now, that being said, that's all I wanted to say, that things have gone, I'm not going to say out of control, if that's possible at all, but the only thing I'm going to say is that we people of the European Union, we need the laws back. We need our protection. These self-elected politicians, these criminals, these corrupt apparatchiks, they got to go. Like this Slovenian president Borut Pahor, who allowed himself basically to abduct Slovenian citizen, torture him according to the recipe from Guantanamo, and have Israelis engage against one in a total terrorism and stuff like this. It is true. This would have not happened without the Slovenian president, without Slovenian permission, without the CS permission. But it's also another fact, I'm not going to go into, that this does not excuse a radicalism, Israeli radicalism issue. But I'm rather going to concentrate myself also into other issue. And the fact of the matter is also that because Jews knew about my future writing, they could use that as an excuse and say, well, we had to do this because of your future writing. You're going to be future writing and so on. This is the biggest bullshit. This is the biggest lie. They wanted me, Jews alone, not Jews, Mossad, Netanyahu. Not even Mossad was as crazy as Netanyahu, but Netanyahu alone wanted me to write like this. He wanted me to look like hateful and stuff like this. He wanted me to be angry. He did all this shit for me to be angry, and he wanted me to write at all costs. You see, this is what I'm saying is, they knew about it. They could have stopped it. You understand? So don't say that they are not, that this is because of the Slovenian government, with permission of Slovenian government, with permission of the German, in the presence of the German, British Buckingham Palace, Macron and so on, Donald Trump, Bush, Clinton and so on. This is an excuse. There's absolutely no excuse in this matter. So either way you turn these things, this is a radicalism. In a little bit I'm going to play you a little clip about their free visa entry to European Union, and it's the same with the Russian Federation. I'm not going to say this is a big mistake. Mossad wanders in Europe and murders people. If Mossad that wanders in Europe and murders people is not terrifying enough, maybe the story that I have mentioned to you about Netanyahu's niece, which implanted herself here in the city of the Novo Mesto to terrorize me, basically my freedom, condition me with the death, my freedom of the speech, probably that should at least be. We definitely need strict requirement for the Israeli citizens to the European Union, just like Russians need them for the Russian Federation, and we don't need them here for anything at all. It would be better off, we would be much better off without them not even coming here, because they got nothing to look here for. This is the way I see it. They are dangerous, they are radical, they are terrorists, and from my perspective, from my view, they're not going to get any justification for their existence here in Europe. Borut Pahor went as far as giving them port of Koper and stuff like this, favoring deals with them over deals with other economies that would truly benefit our societies and stuff like this. This radicalism, this Jewish extremism, this Israeli extremism, they first murder people, they kill people, then maybe like 30, 40 years later, what they do is they apologize. Actually, don't even apologize to the families, but they issue like statements like, we're going to give you a couple of dollars for the stuff we do and stuff like this. And basically suggesting that this is totally, I'm going to say, a radical, unacceptable, supremacy type of attitude towards others that is not in the same category as Jews. It's like viewing the rest of the global population like from down, like completely worthless, without any value human beings. If you understand me what I'm trying to say, it is as radical as anything possibly can be radical in this world. Nobody behaves like this. Iranians do not behave like this. Muslims do not behave like this. They don't view us as totally nothing in this world. It's the type of behavior, insensitive, unapologetic, totally irresponsible, totally like, what can you do to me? I'm a Jew, basically, type of attitude. I can do anything I want to do in this world, type of attitude. That type of attitude, this is exactly what Hitler had in the Second World War. That's exactly what the type of attitude was. We are allowed to do whatever we are pleased to do, and there's nothing you can do to us. Basically, type of attitude. That pretty much is exactly the type of attitude. That's like a total radicalism. That's like not viewing people as equal, far from equal. I mean, that's basically viewing people like, you know, like you can do anything you want to do with them, and we can do this in whichever part we want to do in this world. It is already now here in Slovenia, big time. It's already happening in Poland. Oh, by the way, I would also say that Poles alone have suggested me, and Russians have suggested me how, you know, many of them immigrated to Israel, and they remain to be Poles, whatever you want to call them, Russians, whatever you want to call these people now. And it's just because it's better living conditions there, whatever. I never would be considered desert, you know, as a living condition when compared that to the beautiful Russia or Poland or whatever. You know, that's just crazy to me. But let's just set this issue aside, and let's concern ourselves with what we have just witnessed lately have taken place. These Poles in Israel, what were they used for other than to lynch literally Polish politic? If you have seen the Polish embassy in Tel Aviv, there were like Hakenkreuzes on all over the Polish, and then this Polish minority that immigrated to Israel now is used like a troll factory against Poland, basically. They're used all over the social media and everywhere else to attack their own homeland. I mean, this is why Netanyahu is so damn, you know, beside that he gets the support from our countries when our population immigrates over there. I should say is abducted to Israel. This is actually what's happening. This is an extreme radicalism that must come to an end, and we got to make an end. We got to start making the end with our own politicians. We got to start to clean in front of our own doorsteps, is basically how I see it. This is how it's got to be done. Nothing really is acceptable. If somebody wants to ask what is acceptable, nothing. Well, we Slavs should not be waiting on you know, others to do the job for us. You know, there is such thing as Schengen zone and stuff like that. Germans are in bed with Israel. Okay, for the past, I'm not going to say 70 years, right? But I can guarantee you for at least last 20 years, all the neo-Nazi movements, whether it was German, British, American, French, Australian, Scandinavian especially, even Netanyahu's son has got a Scandinavian girlfriend and so on. They all gathered like totally worry-free, like whatever was forbidden to do and congregate and meet and so on in their countries, it was totally allowed in Israel. They meet in Israel. It was like a center of the Nazism, of the fascism. And this, I know for the last 20 years, but I believe this went on for at least prior, I would say, I estimate another 20 years probably, I would say. And so we should not wait for the Germans to do these things for us, for the French, for the Italians and so on. We do have to implement some sort of Schengen zone for ourselves. Basically restrict, make the restrictions, make as per entry restrictions, because for our own safety. This is just the way it is. That's basically all I had to say for this video. Neo-Nazi or Jew, Same is the true. Slavic pride worldwide. Till next time, my friends. Basically, this here is what we, the real citizens of European Union, do not want. For Israel to be visa-free, to have visa-free access for entire Europe is totally, I'm going to say, unacceptable for every normal citizen of the European Union. The problem, however, is not only limited to European Union, but it's also citizens of Russian Federation that are dealing with the very same issue because of Vladimir Putin, Tsar Putanovich, if you like. The problem here is that Mossad wanders the Europe and is killing European Union citizens, as well as abducting them, terrorizing them, threatening them with a gun. They pointed guns at me live on numerous occasions, and have, together with American government, Slovenian government, abducted me also to Israel, where I was threatened and tortured and so on. And so these are very serious issues that, let's just say, self-elected leaders need to know, need to see, that we citizens of the European Union, and I think that citizens of the Russian Federation should also be very concerned with. You are very concerned with this type of approach toward diplomacy that our self-elected leaders are implementing against us.